This is your August 2025 reading for your Sun, Moon, Rising, and or Venus signs. Check out your placements to get a message that most resonates with you. I'm not telling you what to do. The Oracle's not telling you what to do. Ultimately, you have free will. Therefore, you make the best decision for you and those involved. If you're cross-watching or you yourself, Pisces, feel that the roles are in the reverse, please reverse them. Take what applies and leave what doesn't. It's a general reading, not a private reading, so it may resonate, may not resonate. Please be aware of that. Thank you for liking, sharing, subscribing, commenting, and donating. It is greatly appreciated. All right, Pisces. So right before I was about to do your reading, there was almost like a sense of anxiety that came over me. And I'm not sure if that's something that you're currently feeling with a situation. So but we'll see. All right, Pisces. Overall energy, you have the Two of Swords. Man, this card keeps coming out for everyone. So you might right now feel like you're at a stalemate. Maybe there's some sort of decision to make. Perhaps ignoring someone. For some, it could even be trying to listen to your intuition and ignoring everything else that's happening externally. But we'll see when we clarify. You have the Tower as your current energy. So something could have fallen apart. There could have been some sort of sudden realization. Maybe something happened all of a sudden. The challenge is the Ace of Swords. So maybe truth, clarity, the right decision, right? If the overall is the Two of Swords, what you're looking for is this Ace of Swords. And that's the challenge currently. In the foundation, you have the Seven of Cups. So you might be feeling a bit confused. Maybe there's a sudden choice you have to make, a sudden decision. For some of you, maybe you're feeling emotionally overwhelmed, perhaps. There's a bit of uncertainty. In the past, you have the King of Cups, Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio energy. You could be dealing with another water sign. It doesn't have to be. I feel like with this King of Cups is more of like the heart is there in the past. We'll see when we clarify. On your mind, you have the Four of Pentacles. So either holding on to something, saving something, perhaps not letting go. We'll see. And your outcome is the Two of Wands, again, with the decision. So the Two of Wands here can signify there is, I don't know, something you're passionate about, or there's this desire for something, and now you're having to make a choice. Normally the Two of Wands, notice how he can see he's here, right? And he can see the overall picture. So with the Two of Wands, it's normally a decision in which you can see more. So it's a clearer decision, I guess we can say. So let's go ahead and clarify these cards. What is this Two of Swords here? Why is the Two of Swords the overall energy for Pisces? Why is the Two of Swords the overall energy for Pisces? The Three of Swords. I'm not surprised that that's there. The Magician and the Page of Swords. Hierophant. This can have to do for some with your beliefs, maybe some sort of rules or regulations. Perhaps a Hierophant can represent contracts, corporations, maybe even a marriage for some, long-term commitment. There's something here that I feel like has either disappointed you or hurt you, and I think you want to move on from that. I think you want to manifest something different. But then you have the Page of Swords, which is somebody who is just watching, learning. And with this Two of Swords, there's almost like, again, that's stalemate. There's clearly a situation here with that Three of Swords that's hurting you, again, disappointing you, whatever the case may be. Let's keep moving forward. What is the Tower. Why is that the current situation for Pisces? I almost get the sense of like realizing something. Let's see. The Queen of Pentacles, Capricorn, Taurus, Virgo, the Six of Swords, and the Fool card, Temperance, Sagittarius. The sudden realization here is, where do you feel safe and secure? Where do you feel comfortable? It's almost like a bit of a realization of needing to take care of oneself. And with the Six of Swords, this is about moving towards something that is I want to say mentally secure. This is not the word I'm looking for. Because the Swords is all about thoughts, communication, right? And the Six of Swords is moving on to calmer waters. So I feel like what you're looking for yourself is this sense of mental security and stability. Also leaving behind a situation where things or people that have left you feeling defeated, where you don't trust it, where maybe you feel like you're walking on eggshells, or perhaps you feel like other people have an agenda, or maybe feeling like you need to have your own agenda because you have to fend for yourself. And then the Fool card here is this leap of faith. He literally has this one little bag, meaning he's leaving his baggage behind, but he's still carrying a little bit of it, and kind of reaching this point of wanting to take a leap of faith into something better. For some of you, it's just wanting a better life for yourself financially. If it's not financially, it's just like feeling comfortable, feeling at ease, I also want to say. Why is the Ace of Swords a challenge? Let's move this here. Ten of Swords. The Three of Wands. And the Death card. Something has to change. You have two cards of change or an ending. Ten of Swords to me normally is, I normally look at it and say, okay, the card of suffering. I know a lot of people can say that that's the card of endings, betrayal, feeling backstabbed, and it could be all of these for you. But there's almost something here that feels so almost like you've done everything you could. Look at this guy. He's in full armor. And all of these swords are over here. To me, this means like somebody who's already protected themselves, but is constantly, it's just, there's almost like, it's a constant. And now, it's like there's no more. There's no more. Three of Wands, expectations, waiting. For a major change or an ending. But this is the challenge. The Ace of Swords to me is looking more like cutting some sort of tie. Knight of Swords is at the bottom of the deck. What is this, 7 of Cups? The 5 of Cups. The Lovers. Gemini energy. And what is that? The Knight of Pentacles. Here's the Hierophant again. What would be Taurus for you? Taurus, the 3rd house. This could have to do with communication. Thanks, Bijan. This could have to do with communication. I'm going to say that it has to do with a partnership, because 7 and 5, that's a 2 of Cups. You have the Lover's card here. So it can be like some sort of soulmate connection. It doesn't have to be love related, but it's definitely something significant here. Maybe the relationship between you and other people. Because I feel like in your foundation, there's almost kind of like this question mark. Do I continue with this? Because there is a great deal of sadness. Taurus. Oh, okay. There's some sort of sadness or regret or a sense of loss here with the 5 of Cups. Lovers is about a choice. It's also about the integration of masculine and feminine energy. And then the Knight of Pentacles is a slow-moving energy. It is also considered a reliable energy. And this is all clarifying the card of options, confusion, feeling emotionally overwhelmed, and whatnot. So I think a part of you might feel like you're at a crossroads here, which could represent as to why that 2 of Wands is here. Let's see what the King of Cups is. The Hanged Man, the 8 of Pentacles, and the Ace of Cups, Page of Cups. This could have to do with a work situation with the 8 of Pentacles, or working on something. So it could be working on a relationship, working on a project, working on your finances, etc. But you were building on something your heart was attached to. So whether your heart was attached to a relationship, a work situation, or just work in general, because of the Ace of Cups, that represents emotions. Now, it can also represent self-care. Maybe you were working on your emotions or something like this, regulating your emotions, because the King of Cups represents that as well. So this could be kind of like going to therapy, for example, or doing something better for yourself in which you feel more emotionally secure with yourself, where you're starting to trust yourself a little bit more. So it doesn't necessarily have to be that the reading is about you and somebody else. It could just be you versus you. Now, Page of Cups. I just feel like you've given your all to something with that past card there. Trying to see things from a different perspective. Perhaps feeling like you've sacrificed to give to this. What is this King of Pentacles? Sorry, not King of Pentacles. This 4 of Pentacles on your mind. Page of Pentacles, the King of Wands. And who's this? The Queen of Swords. And we have the Temperance again. So Sagittarius, Aries, Leo, Aquarius, Gemini, Libra. Again, it doesn't have to be these signs, but it's there. You're still holding on to something because you're trying to be patient with that. I feel like on your mind with this Page of Pentacles, this is somebody here who's willing to learn and put in the work. It is also about communication, and it can be communication because it's Pentacles. Could have to do with communication in regards to money, work, security, stability. It is also the friendship card, so this could have to do with maybe some sort of platonic relationship or something that's not love related. But again, take it as it resonates for you. And with the King of Wands is normally somebody who is going to take action. He has a plan. He has the drive and enthusiasm and the maturity to take on this role. And the Queen of Swords is one who's been hurt, but she doesn't take anybody's BS because she sees things very clearly. And this is all these court cards are all clarifying a card of holding on. Temperance is about being patient. What else comes out? The Emperor, Aries energy, the Wheel of Fortune, and the Five of Pentacles. I also feel like a part of you might also think it doesn't matter how much control of the situation you have, how much of whatever it is that you do to turn things around, you still feel like it's either not enough or you're still lacking or the situation's still not giving you enough. Let's see what this Two of Wands is for you. There's the Five of Swords. I'm not even surprised this came out, because that's what you're trying to leave behind. So Five of Swords, the Two of Pentacles, there's the Nine of Swords. Because you had the Ten of Swords, clarifying that Ace of Swords. 10 minus 1, 9. And I was thinking to myself, I was like, before I took out the cards, I was like, okay, I was feeling a sense of anxiety. Was that just me? Because to me, it felt like it was more part of the Pisces reading. And I was like, so where's the Nine of Swords? Why didn't it show up? And there it is, lo and behold. And the Ten of Wands. So something is quite difficult and heavy, and it feels like a burden here for you. And this has to do with either communicating something or making some sort of move, or getting the ball rolling with something. Hello. 9 and 5, Four of Swords. You want to take a break from this. You want peace in this situation is what you want. Because it seems like everything is just kind of like up and down, a constant. But you're needing to make some sort of decision or choice, or to do something differently. Because you can't keep, I feel like for you with this Tower here, there is some sort of realization or something happened, I don't know, something like this that triggered this thought where you thought, I deserve better, or I need to feel comfortable where I'm at. I don't know, my nervous system needs to stop going through the theme park. Like you bought a season pass to the roller coaster theme park, and you keep riding the roller coaster, getting excited with these highs and lows. But I feel like for you, enough is enough. For some of you, you feel like someone or something or an environment has played you, has left you feeling like you need to scramble. You're constantly needing to keep things balanced. It's just this constant, hey, Elle. I'm not doing personal readings right now. I'm just doing the sign of Pisces, Kevin. But if you're dealing with somebody in a third party situation, you too, Al, thanks. If you're dealing with somebody in a third party situation, has this person made actual effort, concrete effort that you could hold on to prove that this is something that's going to move forward? Or are they just breadcrumbing you? And if that's the case, especially with a third party situation, it kind of gives us that question of, how do we value ourselves? Why do we tolerate what we tolerate? It's okay, no worries. You know, why hold on to something that's constantly making you feel like, well, am I worthy for them to leave the other person today or maybe tomorrow? Pisces, I feel like you are stressed out with this Nine of Swords. And the thing is, this Nine of Swords, I love it in this deck because they're not actual physical swords. They almost seem like ghost swords, which means whatever is stressing you out could just be thoughts that you are putting in your head. And I'm not saying that it's not real. You are dealing with a situation that is stressful and that is real, okay? Validate that. But it almost seems to get worse because you keep getting stuck in your head because you're still holding on to whatever this mind game is, this Five of Swords. Because that to me just seems like it's a constant battle. And when are you and this other person, or you and other people, who's going to put the sword down? Because one person is putting the sword, and it seems like to me that is you. But you're feeling like the other person or other people are winning, because the Five of Swords is all about defeat. Look how he's defeated, and this guy is like, yeah, I got the swords, I won. And then the Two of Pentacles, it's kind of like this scrambling of, let me see what else is here. Five of Swords, Knight of Cups, and the Eight of Swords. I feel like the really shitty thing here is that for some of you, when somebody feels a sense of lack from you, or you stop giving, you stop putting in to a situation, they come back around and leave you feeling stuck again. Now, for some of you, it's when you're feeling down, you start to now like people please, for example. And that leaves you feeling confused, because when you start to fall back to this people pleasing, to the, oh, well, I'm going to fix the situation, and nobody takes accountability, but you take accountability for them because, well, it's easy for you to self-sacrifice, right? Ultimately, it's all about having a sense of control. So when you start blaming yourself, you start to self-sacrifice, you have that sense of control, even though it's hurting you. You create this loop again with this Eight of Swords of feeling imprisoned, feeling trapped. Feeling hurt. 8 and 5, there's a 3 of Swords, which showed up. 8 and 9, there's an Ace of Swords, which showed up, which is the lack of clarity, the lack of cutting something out. I feel like at this point over here, Pisces, do you have any self-respect? And I mean that with all due respect, you know? And listen, I'm not a guru or anything like that. It's not that this doesn't apply to me, because this applies to me as well. I'm not saying that this particular reading applies to me, but it could. I do have Pisces in my chart. So there's a 4 of Swords. Hold on a second. I'm just looking at the other cards to see what else comes out. For some of you, you're afraid to face your shadow side. And what I mean by that, for some of you, you're afraid. So if the people-pleasing thing applies to you, you resonated with that. The shadow side would be saying no, putting yourself first. Now, don't get me wrong. If you're the type of person who always puts yourself first, then there has to be, you know, a balance of really looking at the other person, being of service to the other person, you know, being compassionate, understanding the other person's perspective. But I'm going to go ahead and give you the benefit of the doubt that you're probably the individual who needs to, you know, also consider yourself. Because usually people who need to give a little more to the other people are not people who watch tarot. So, and not to be judgmental, but it is what it is, you know? Because you have the 4 of Wands, 7 of Swords, the Devil, the Knight of Wands, the 4 of Swords. Because there's almost kind of like this strong desire, almost a bit of a codependency here, where you keep running back to... I'm not going to say you keep running back to the situation or to this person. It could be that, but that's not what I'm trying to say. It's almost running back to the same type of behavior that just did not work out for you. So again, let's just stick with the people pleasing, because that's a lot easier to talk about. Let's say you finally stick up for yourself and you're like, no, I'm not going to do this, or no, I'm not going to tolerate this behavior from you, or I'm going to choose myself right now. There's almost kind of like this fear that kicks in, and it's like, okay, well, you know what? I feel bad, or maybe I should say yes to this, or maybe I should do a little bit extra of this work, or maybe I should just tolerate it. There's almost like you, by you doing that, and I don't want to like point the finger, so I'm going to say us. By us doing that, we neglect ourselves. We neglect ourselves from feeling a sense of security. We say, no, I don't trust myself. No, what feels good is, you know, repeating the same pattern, even though it hurts me, but it's familiar. You know, at least I know the consequences. At least maybe this time I can figure it out this way. But why go through the route that's going to take you 50 minutes to get somewhere, as opposed to taking a route that is, you know, just a 20-minute ride, but you just don't know that road yet. Does this make sense, Pisces? So there is some sort of choice, decision that you are making or needing to make or wanting to make. Knight of Swords, the Star, Aquarius energy, 5 of Wands. This could be an internal battle. Do I fight for this? Do I not? Because with this 5 of Swords showing up to me, this is looking like an internal battle. For some of you, it's the way that you, or maybe how someone else is approaching the situation, because there's hope. but there's conflict. King of Swords, Aquarius, Gemini, Libra energy here. King of Pentacles, the Emperor, Four of Cups. I feel like you keep giving to a situation thinking that, you know, all right, yes, under control, but it leaves you feeling, I don't know, disappointed, empty, unfulfilled, bothered, bored. I don't know, because of the Four of Cups here. There is a new opportunity here for you, though. You're needing to gain more of this self-confidence, this independence. And I'm not saying independence in the sense of like, oh, screw everybody else. I'm just going to do me and I hate everyone. No, not in that sense, but like gaining a sense of confidence, self-trust, self-reliance. For some of you, you fear that you have to do something alone. You feel like there's going to be more of a burden. Ay, ay. So maybe like little by little, because to me your outcome is looking more like there's no other option. It's either it's a do or die type of thing. It's like I need to make this choice. For some of you, because I saw the Judgment, if it's about reconciling with someone, it's about making the choice to drop the past once and for all and start a new beginning. If it's about a new opportunity, it's about, you know, taking a new opportunity and not believing that it's going to fail. If it's about, I don't know, it's taking a chance on yourself, Pisces. Let's take out some advice. For advice and clarity, I don't even know, what time is it? 12:28. All right, what is the advice and clarity for Pisces? All right. I don't feel like it's this, but it just jumped out. So first card you have is Vanity. And I'm going to read it to you. Crystal, Peter, and Mike are at a party at Mike's posh home, toasting success in their business. A mysterious old man appears and asks them whether they prefer gluttony or generosity. Puzzled, none of them answers. He reminds them that more does not mean better, and they laugh. Suddenly, they are alone, far from the party, in rising water. "We're getting more," cries Peter. Rain falls and the water rises faster. "Play," shouts Crystal. "We must do well with what we have." As they begin to have fun in the water, the rain stops. We all say we will stop when we have had enough, but there's never enough. You may be looking outside of yourself for validation. Oof! I love it with these cards. Oh my goodness. I love when the cards, and it does this every single time, match exactly, like it's the perfect advice and clarity. Anyway, sorry, Pisces, I'm getting excited. Let me read that again. We all say we will stop when we have had enough, or we will leave when we have enough, or we will start doing this when we have had enough, right? But there's never enough. You may be looking outside yourself for validation. Am I feeling disconnected from any people in my life? Am I growing away from limiting relationships? Keywords are faith, awareness, transformation, environmental tension, living in illusion, self-doubt, power to change, lesser companions, empty conversations. Hold on, there is more. The tenuous balance between what is true in our heart and what we communicate is reflected in Aqua. Are you living and communicating your truth, or just playing along? This may be a time of awakening to a new way of being. Be aware of distractions that may pull you away from the true you. I can't, man. I love this. I love reading cards. Okay, the next card you have is Abundance. Inside a magical treasure chest, gold coins. Inside a magical treasure chest, gold coins swap stories. One coin tells how a man foolishly dropped her down a drain, then cried instead of trying to get her out. There's the guy. The coins remember how this girl saved them, along with many others, and eventually bought a house. As all coins desire to be well spent, they agree that she was indeed a wise person. Think about your relationship with money. Are you the wise girl or a foolhardy man? Money is naturally attracted toward appreciation and gratitude. Be wary of using your financial situation as an excuse to avoid doing something. Are your thoughts and actions around money empowering or disempowering you? Keywords are friendship, wisdom, windfall, abundance through gratitude, releasing regret, being good with money. Hold on, there's more. Gold represents the power of the mind to choose. One choice may be wise and the other foolish. Choosing well may... I don't know where this stopped. Gold represents the power of the mind to choose. One choice may be wise and the other foolish. Choosing well may involve temporary sacrifice in order to gain your desires. Remember that you can always make a new choice. Pisces, I don't know what else to tell you, but this is fantastic. So, if you resonated with it, let me know in the comments below. Be sure to hit the like button. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll catch you guys next time. Thanks for watching.